The rain had turned the cracked asphalt of the corporate parking lot into a black mirror, reflecting the cold blue glow of the skyscraper above it, when the words that would change everything were thrown like a knife. A billionaire CEO, wrapped in an expensive coat and even more expensive arrogance, laughed loudly as he pointed at a rusted old car sputtering near the service entrance. "That car is junk," he sneered, dismissing not just the machine but the man behind it, a tired black single-dad janitor who stood beside it, soaked in rain, holding a mop in one hand and the weight of the world in the other. In that moment, no one in that glittering building could have imagined that the same car, the same man, and the same silent engine were about to ignite a chain of events that would shake a $2 billion empire to its core. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and hidden potential, please take a moment right now to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to our channel, Bright Hearts, so more stories like this can reach the world. The janitor's name was Marcus Hill, and every morning before the sun rose, he woke up in a small, peeling apartment with the smell of old paint and instant coffee in the air, carefully stepping over scattered toys so he wouldn't wake his 8-year-old daughter, Lila. She had asthma and a fragile heart, and every day Marcus worried that the cold or stress might send her back to the hospital. He made her breakfast with hands rough from scrubbing floors and eyes heavy from exhaustion, smiling for her even when his own spirit felt worn down to nothing. He worked 2 shifts at the corporate tower, mopping floors that gleamed with wealth he would never touch, collecting trash from offices where executives argued over numbers bigger than the entire world he lived in. And when his shifts ended, he went to that battered old car in the parking lot, not because it was all he could afford, but because it was all he had left of a life he once dreamed of. Years ago, before tragedy and poverty wrapped around him like chains, Marcus had been a gifted mechanical engineer. He had worked on engines, innovations, and designs that could make machines cleaner, faster, and more powerful. He had a small workshop, a growing reputation, and a future that seemed bright. But then Lila's mother fell ill, the medical bills exploded, and when she passed away, Marcus's life collapsed into a blur of grief, debt, and survival. He sold his tools, his equipment, and even his pride to keep Lila alive. The only thing he kept was an old prototype engine he had built with his own hands, hidden inside that rusted car that everyone mocked. That night, as rain poured harder, the CEO, a man named Richard Vane, known in business circles for crushing competitors and caring only for profit, walked past Marcus with a smirk still on his face. To him, Marcus was invisible, just another uniform in a building full of invisible people. But Marcus, standing there in wet clothes, felt something inside him stir. He knew what was under that hood. He knew what he had built. And for the first time in years, he felt a quiet, burning determination to prove that the world was wrong about him. Marcus climbed into the driver's seat, turned the key, and the engine came alive not with a cough, but with a deep, smooth roar that cut through the rain and the city noise like thunder. Heads turned. Conversations stopped. The sound was not the sound of junk. It was the sound of precision, power, and something far more advanced than anything that company had ever produced. The old car trembled slightly, as if it were breathing for the first time, and lights on the dashboard glowed in a way that no ordinary vehicle ever had. Inside the building, alarms began to flash. The corporate lab's monitoring systems detected a massive, unfamiliar energy signature. Engineers rushed to their screens, stunned by what they were seeing. That single engine, hidden inside a janitor's broken-down car, was generating more clean power than any of their billion-dollar prototypes. Richard Vane's confident smile faded as he was rushed back to the control room, staring at numbers that didn't make sense. What he had mocked as junk was now threatening to outshine everything he owned. Security flooded the parking lot, but Marcus didn't run. He stepped out of the car slowly, rain dripping from his hair, eyes steady. For once, he wasn't afraid. He had spent years being stepped on, ignored, and underestimated. Now the truth was finally visible. The engine he had built was designed to be revolutionary, capable of running on a fraction of the energy of traditional systems while producing exponentially more power. It was clean, efficient, and years ahead of anything on the market. Richard was forced to face Marcus, not as a janitor, but as the mind behind something priceless. And in that moment, the power shifted. The man who had once laughed now realized that the future of his company, maybe even the future of the industry, was standing in front of him in a soaked uniform with a name tag barely holding on.